not trying to be that way. Like, you guys get where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm. I think Dalton would be the first to say whether or not you're being a hypocrite and shoving things down his throat.
I don't know why he's got to put it with the shoving things down the throat. I don't know where he's going with that. I kept thinking that's what he was going. I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
No, because they say that people in religion, that you shove it down their throats and they get tired of it. You're saying. Unlike Ryan here, I've actually been being good this whole episode.
The typical hypocritical Christian thing you see to do to turn something around and use it against someone else when you got a dirty mind too.
Wait a minute.
Because you're keeping it cool for the podcast. You're trying to make yourself look better than me because I let a couple words slip. Welcome back to Real Talk After Dark, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Very good.
I went...
Big episode 30.
Jeez.
Big episode 30 tonight.
That's crazy.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks for joining us where we keep it real about life and film. It's going to be an exciting time tonight. I really wanted to dedicate and focus tonight's episode on Angel Studios, a very awesome up-and-coming independent company that's it's been around for a while. It was founded originally in 2013 by brothers Neil, Daniel, Jeffrey, and Jordan Harmon. It was originally Vid Angel, and it was rebranded in 2021 as Angel Studios.
That's cool.
And they're an independent company. They've been around for a hot minute. And they made this incredible, powerful, moving film called Sound of Freedom that released in summer of 2023 that was outbeating Hollywood.
That still makes me laugh.
Beating out Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, all this incredible stuff. And I just find it absolutely amazing how God works in mysterious ways and got this film and awareness of what this film is about. And obviously rocking my God's Children Not for Sale, my Sound of Freedom hat. Got Sound of Hope, the fight for the kids begins. I got a stack of movies here I want to talk about too, because it's the Kendrick brothers who are they're a little bit more, I think, mainstream, straight to the point. Yeah. And kind of like in your face about God and Scripture, but that's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
Now, one thing,
but they're just more like it's very like
to the point.
You know, like you see them like But
here's
what
something
they
I
do
bet
too is incorporate it, and it's the background. Sorry, I'm just
you're good.
Getting all this Angel, all this stuff from the background.
Well, here's something I bet you don't know about Angel Studios, though.
Well, what's that?
So, say there's a movie that they're coming out with, and you really want to see it, but you can't afford it.
Oh,
so Angel Studios
thinks I don't know about this. Pay it forward. I know all about that.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
I've do that like at the end of all their movies, I think.
Yeah, man.
Like,
they
so because I've got them. I get their newsletters and all that.
Yeah, dude.
And
I'm subscribed to them.
I've chipped in money for it, and.
That's what they've been like that since. And it's funny because of what Sound of Freedom accomplished at the box office for a small film that was shot, mind you, in 2018, which they tried for like 5 years to push that film out and get it distributed and seen by the mainstream audience. And Hollywood didn't want to dip their toes in that. They didn't want to incorporate or be associated with
that movement,
the child trafficking ring, unfortunately, that's going on.
Who was it that Sound of Hope outdid? Was it Terrifier 3?
No,
not Sound of Freedom. Sound of Hope.
No, Sound of Hope came out over the summer.
Yeah, didn't they outdo like Terrifier or something like that?
No.
That we were talking about was going to outdo it, I think.
No, what happened was I said was Sound of Freedom, its opening weekend did
that's what it was.
Like 21 million
the numbers
or so.
Were better.
Its opening weekend was by word of mouth.
Yeah. And it was Terrifier.
And Terrifier 3
was like 18 million or something like that.
It came out in 18 million, which I mean, it's still an independent film itself too, but it was also distributed and mainstreamed by Hollywood and some big.
So I mean, think about that for a minute. A no name, no, pushing by Hollywood, nothing outdid a bigger scale independent film movie. Just by word of mouth.
I mean, just what it did, beating out, like I said, when it came out with Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones and big names.
Tom Cruise and Harrison Ford.
It held number one for the longest time.
Now, the only bad thing I have when it comes to Sound of Freedom, and you and I talked about that.
What bad thing? You haven't even seen it yet. Have you watched it?
No.
Then what bad thing you got to say about it?
That one of the executive producers got busted, and it was in St. Louis. Got busted for trafficking of kids.
What?
Well, it's because there's not, and that. Well, and I know that's a horrible thing because then once one person, you know how it is. If they say one person ruins it for someone, it ruins it for everybody. So all of a sudden, everybody involved in Sound of Freedom is
a bad person.
Yeah, and it's not just because one person slipped through or was doing that stuff. Doesn't mean because what this guy Tim Ballard does, man, he fights for that. He just made a big post the other night that I've been praying for him. He's going out again. He's got a big mission, and he is basically kind of just like letting everybody know, like kind of like if we don't hear from him again, like he's gets almost like another Sound of Freedom type. He's going out,
putting himself out there.
Yeah.
That's like my brother. He has to go to Africa within the next 6 months because he started a church over there, and he's really worried because over there, this isn't, condoned or accepted. It's, you have to kind of do it in
secret.
Yeah.
The missionary kind of thing.
But the African government is willing to talk to him because of the fact that he's an American and doing it. The difference, between us and them is they're having a hard time with the African government. My brother, he's been talking, and they're willing to play ball. So he's got to go fill out paperwork and stuff, but he's still kind of worried that, he could get arrested, which is a possibility and stuff like that. And
that wouldn't be too much fun. But I mean, if you believe in it, then you should do it.
Yeah. So this is Angel Studios, something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I just figured hitting the milestone episode 30 would be a good one to sit and discuss.
We're coming up on Christmas and it's a good message, and
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to, because it's an ugly subject with that topic. I mean, nobody, it's too polite or it's too ugly for polite conversation. Nobody wants to sit down and talk about what's happening to these kids and want to even be aware of it. But we don't get through that. He even Jim Caviezel even says at the end of the film has a message about how we don't get through. Or fix anything by not talking about it. Right. It gets worse if we don't fix it or bring it up or make light. Not trying to bring light of it, but bring light of the awareness so people can understand this is going on, so we can speak out on it, and more people come to it. Hopefully, something will rise up in the end. Good versus evil type thing. But no, and it's funny. It's ridiculous too, because Sound of Freedom, I mean, after I saw that film, I think it has something to do with becoming a father too. But when I first saw that film, and I saw it because I saw word of mouth talking about it, and people talking about it, and I said, what's this film? What is this? I gotta see this. And I heard whispers of what it was about. I didn't detail it or research what it was. But then when I started finding out, I was like, okay, this might be, really deep and dark, and which it is, but it's done respectfully, done very respectfully. But it's an ugly topic, and it just brought a lot of awareness to me. I knew that trafficking was a thing, human trafficking, but I didn't know that young children were involved, unfortunately. So that really affected me a lot. It spoke to me.
Might I remind you of what happened after you saw it?
Well, yeah, I know. That's why I don't think it's a bad thing that I talk about, because who else is? Who else is?
I mean, you kind of went off the deep end, but
there's nothing wrong with that.
But at the same time,
who else is talking about it? Sometimes you got to get a little I mean, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you gotta throw yourself out there and talk about things. And I lost a few friends over my belief and
that was
my
the
strong
dumbest thing ever.
stance over wanting to watch standing over this movie. And I know at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's a really well done movie. I thought it was done well, and like I said, done respectfully. But
I mean, you got into a shouting match with Art the Clown.
only with Art the Clown because he called the film pathetic.
That never happened.
Called the film and the movement pathetic. So I just thought that was ridiculous.
You know, and but I just, I couldn't believe that you had lost friends that you'd been friends with for 10 plus years over something that, okay, yes, you were overly passionate about it. You still are. But it's like,
what's wrong with being overly passionate
but it's
about
like,
something? You know what
but
I mean?
at the same time, these same friends
what's false about this statement?
Exactly. They're asking you to support their stuff, but then you ask them to support yours, and they're like, why? And
well, Facts for Kids begins. Like I said right there, guys, we got a shirt, got all this stuff.
It just it didn't make any sense because like he, and I'll be honest with everybody, he went off on me, and I got really irate with him. But at the time,
the movie's been out for a year and a half now, and you still haven't seen it.
At the time, I did not know what was going on, and he finally told me what had happened, and I'm like, wait a minute, these people went off on you for this?
You'll need to see it. I got Angel Studios films here. You got Sound of Freedom, Sound of Hope. I thought was really well done because they talk about the after death is a well done documentary.
This is the one that Sarah wanted to see.
It's a well done documentary. Yeah. The Shift is a really well done film.
It's pretty good.
It's about a man who gets basically kind of shifted into a different reality by the devil and is basically promised all these different things. It's basically like a temptation movie, like about like trials and tribulations and the message in the Bible and stuff is like not allowed and restricted and stuff like that in a world where you can't be really, you know what I mean? Almost kind of like where we're going today and stuff like that. And all these other movies, but Angel Studios is a really awesome company that I think is putting out good content, story that matters. Because storytelling is a powerful
and again
tool
for a company that doesn't get backed by Hollywood. They do pretty good numbers in the theaters.
Yeah, and
I mean,
did you check and see how good Bonhoeffer did? By any chance?
I know when it opened I think at number 5. I forget how much, unfortunately, but it opened at number 5. But still is. Well, yeah, it came out. I forget what it came out against, but yeah, no, that
was how many weeks ago?
A couple weeks now,
2 or 3.
But
so it was probably going up against Red One and stuff like that.
Yeah, but because of that film, I didn't know about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I didn't know who he was or what he did, and so stuff like that, bringing to light what these people do and how strong his movement was. Yeah, that 2 weeks later it led to the end of the war because Hitler had killed himself because people had realized the truth. That and I didn't even know that Hitler was rewriting the Bible. I didn't know that either.
Well, and see, the thing about that is, and most people didn't know it at the time, that Hitler actually had syphilis and it got into his brain, so he wasn't exactly all there at that point in time. And he was
that could also be God's timing too, right there, brother.
So he was trying to rewrite
the fact that when they killed, spoiler alert, when they killed Bonhoeffer 2 weeks later.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows that by now.
Yeah, but no, it was incredible.
We studied that in history.
And in their future projects, Homestead coming out this month.
That looks really good.
And it's cool too because we get so many movies about the end of the world, the end of the world, the end of the world. They're giving us a film about the start, like the beginning of the end of, like the beginning of the start of the new world. After the end, like they're like, this isn't a story about the end of the world. It's about it beginning again.
I was going to say, we know what happened at the beginning of the world. God said, "Let there be light."
Oh yeah,
and Ryan's grandma flipped on the light switch.
No, we're talking about
in what order?
Oh, you know what I'm talking about, like how like the world is like, you know what I mean, almost like an apocalyptic type where people are almost like where we're headed today.
Wouldn't it be post-apocalyptic if it's the beginning of the new world?
Well, it's kind of like the start
or beginning to the apocalypse. And all
like
that.
it's a story about the start of it beginning again.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
The way it looks really good.
Now, I did hear that Angel Studios is trying to work with, because I've worked with Jim Caviezel, they're trying to work with Mel Gibson.
I can see that.
Yeah, I would love to see them come together for Resurrection.
That man right there, big Hollywood star and got basically crucified because of Passion of the Christ.
Mel Gibson even told him too. He said, "You realize if you take this role, you're gonna be blacklisted."
Yeah.
And he hadn't worked in that industry for the longest time. He got he was in a TV show. What's the name of that TV show? It was good. Person of Interest.
Yeah.
That was actually really good.
Show.
So that was awesome to see him in that. But I was really excited. I mean, I'll support him. And that's another thing about Sound of Freedom. Tim Ballard, the company and all them like work because they were wanting to find somebody who was more of like a lookalike. You know what I mean? Yeah. But Tim Ballard was like was dead set on. He's like, no, because of his beliefs and what he stands for, I want Jim Caviezel to play me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that was awesome.
Yeah,
and I think he did a hell of a job too. Because I mean, there definitely wasn't nobody more perfect for that. Because he fit it. You could see the emotion was there. He cared, and even at the end of the film with his message and stuff and bringing to light. All this the ugliness and everything of it, like just the film itself. He even talks about at the end how this film isn't about me, it isn't about Tim Ballard, it isn't about all this stuff. It's about those kids and about what I mean, and bringing awareness to it and all that and saving these kids and stuff. And people don't realize how ugly and bad it is, and it's something that's
that's what's wrong with the world. That like
you
were condemned for it. Jim Caviezel got condemned for his beliefs, but then, at the same time, they want to shove their beliefs and their ideology and all that down our throats and then get mad at us when we don't accept it. It's like, well, wait, hold on. We're willing to listen. You guys aren't.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
I understand that there are those, again, those people that ruin it for everyone else, the people that make it look bad for everyone else. You got your good and your bad, like the bad.
But you have that everywhere.
A bad cop that might shoot somebody, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, all the cops are out to get us. And it's like, no, not all of them. Some people did take that job to save people and stuff like that.
My buddy Danny, he got out of the Marines, and the first thing he did was he became a cop. And he's a good Christian man. His birthday's coming up in a couple of days. Gonna go hang out with him for his birthday. And he actually worked when he first started at a different police department, and they fired him because of the fact that he wouldn't go to the bars and drink, wouldn't cheat on his wife, and his beliefs in God. Yes. And that's what they told him. That was their reason.
And that's what I was saying about like true believers and followers of Christ and stuff. Like there are people who do want to who are trying to shove it down your throat, but they're also being hypocritical too, those that do that. And it's not about trying to shove it down your throat. We're trying to just be like, look, in case you don't know, I mean, he's there and he loves you and it's out there, but that's for you to accept or not. You know what I mean? Like, we're not trying to shove it to you. Like, at the end of the night, like, if you don't accept it, then that's on you.
I mean,
you know what I mean? But we're just trying to, because I mean, it even says in the Bible, God sends out his messengers and his prophets and his warriors and stuff to warn the people of the world, to spread the message of the gospel. You know what I mean? And because of that faith, we got to keep, and especially in a world of today, we got to keep that faith and that spirit alive, and we got to be able to talk about that.
This is why I wish you didn't work on Sunday nights. Because then you could come down to the deep dive we do every Sunday night. Because we talk about, and you ask anybody like Jaden, who's out of camera range, he'll tell you, we go like we have people that have been in church for 50, 60 years, and they're just now finding out things that they never knew that was even in the Bible, and they're just like, I thought I knew everything.
Some people don't even open up the Bible and read it.
And Like, these are people that grew up in church, and they're just like, I can't believe it. Like, we have one, she was telling us on last Sunday, she's like, I never knew any of this. And she's like, how did you guys learn it? I said, are you kidding? This is nothing for me and him. We studied this 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I said, we would do deep dives in our living room and go for 8, 9 hours and not even realize it. And she's just like, you guys are just like really, really smart when it comes. And it's like, well, it's because we actually do research and we tell everybody. He tells everybody, do some research, question me. Like we're talking about heretics and false prophets in religion, which you would love that subject. Because like it's.
Why you call me a false prophet?
No. Because
it sounded like different.
I know.
The different ones that we've talked about ourselves.
Those are your people, Ryan.
You're their guy.
Like, there's one we're studying right now. He got called out by somebody about his beliefs and all that. And he said, and I quote, if you have hatred for Dalton for any reason at all, you're automatically going to hell. Where does it say that in the Bible?
You go for
if you
to hell for hate in your heart, but it's definitely not good to hate.
Right. And
like, I try to, honestly, I've been trying to wipe that word from my vocabulary and just be like, yeah, I've been trying to just be like, I dislike something instead of I hate it, because it's like, I mean, as bad as like, let's say me, like I like mayonnaise, but I don't want mayonnaise like on my like burger. I want ketchup, mustard, but like if mayonnaise accidentally got put on my burger or something like that, like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I hate, like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be like,
it's a strange analogy, but I understand where you're going with it.
I'm just some stuff that comes to mind, you know what I mean? Like, or some people don't like their food touching certain foods or whatever, like, or you know, like, or you get that comment all the time, just that, oh, I hate my life, like, you know, like, hate's a strong word that people don't realize.
You know, right now, my life's not going the greatest. Damn allergies, but okay.
God bless you.
But at the same time. And Ryan will agree with this because he said it to me before. Am I alive? Am I breathing? Damn it. You know, do you have a roof over your head? Do you have food? Do you have access to water? And he even goes, do you have access to religion? I'm like, well, yeah. He goes, okay, well, then your life's not bad. There's no reason to hate it.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, it's true.
It's a strong word.
I mean, you know, there are times where, you know, the depression gets really bad and we think like that. Mm-hmm. And then you stop and think and you're like, wait a minute, my life's not bad at all.
Right.
You know, am I where I want to be in life? No. Can I get there? Sure. Will you get there? That's not our decision. That's God's
timing and plan. If you listen to it and you follow it and you stay on your path and don't stray from it. Yeah. It just takes time. When things are right, they'll fall into place.
Very true. Very true.
I mean, I thought after high school I was going to go to college and I was going to do all these things. And yeah, that didn't happen at all.
You're wrestling and making movies.
Well, that was later down the road. But, you know, I had other things that I had to attend to first. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that was a very trying time, and there was a struggle and
trials and tribulations, brother.
And it's like I look back at it, and I'm like, you know, and I talked to my brother about it. I'm like, you know, I wouldn't change anything we went through, and he goes, neither would I.
It made us who we are.
It led him to becoming a minister, and look at where he's at now.
Sometimes you see those darn memes going around the freaking books of the faces that are like, would you take the red pill where you can go back in time and fix all your mistakes?
No.
Or take the blue pill and have all the money in the
take
world?
the money. You know why?
Just take the money in the world because I'm a better person today than I was back then. And if I change those mistakes, am I going to learn? Am I going to be a worse person for not learning?
Am I going to threaten to beat you if you ever go on a drunken bender for 2 weeks again?
Well, you can go worry about that. It's been over 8 years now, brother.
But no, I always say I'm going to take the money because, you know, I can do a lot with that money. Mm-hmm. You know, You know, like, would you take $5,000 a week for life? You know, blah, blah, blah. Well, duh. Because,
when it adds up, you can put stuff back and it's for eternity.
Well, yeah.
Because you know what you could do? You could help fund things like Angel Studios. You know, do a lot of good with it. And it's like, why do I need to go back? I mean, if I can go back in time, you know what I would do? I wouldn't change anything, but I'd buy a lottery ticket. That's about it. But you know what? That might change everything.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, so getting back on track with Angel Studios and Sound of Freedom and stuff, I wanted to get Dalton's input because he got to see Sound of Freedom for the first time not too long ago. He's watched The Shift,
Bonhoeffer,
and Bonhoeffer. Yeah,
I think that's it.
Yeah, you still got to watch the others, and I still got to get this man to watch some of them too and stuff.
But yeah, you want my input on like what about him? Just in general.
Yeah, how'd you feel about Sound of Freedom?
Sound of Freedom definitely had the best message, but as far as like movies, I think Bonhoeffer was my favorite.
That's pretty strong.
It was very strong, and
that you got to learn about history as well.
Well, I mean, that doesn't. I mean, I kind of like history, but there's just aspects in that movie that were different than I would take out of a normal movie.
Yeah,
I like The Shift too a lot. Though.
Yeah, The Shift was good. I liked the sci-fi kind of aspect to it, but I don't know. I don't know. I think it's as sad as it is. The original short was like right up there with it. You know what I mean?
It came with the original short, which was really cool to watch. And it was kind of like a scene from the film, like a dinner scene from the film that's actually really powerful. It's got Neil Donahue, I think, who's an incredible actor.
Another one that got blacklisted in Hollywood because of his beliefs.
Yeah, we talked about that once before on here about because he even didn't want to kiss another woman on camera and stuff. Hey, boy, quiet on set.
But no, yeah, The Shift was really, really good, though. Honestly, I didn't... Like, when you explained it to me, I was like, man, I hope this doesn't... But it was actually really good.
Yeah.
And I love how Angel Studios, like, throws some kind of random, like, name that you recognize in there. Yeah. Like, with Bonhoeffer was Fluleborg, and that shocked me. I was really surprised and, like, excited about that. And then Sean Austin and The Shift.
It goes to show you that, I mean, like, I think that, like... it's up there in the 90%. I don't know how much, but, like... 90% of Hollywood is very corrupt, and I mean, look at all the people who didn't back or support Sound of Freedom or talk about it, except for like some big names like Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson and Jim Caviezel and stuff like that. But yeah, no, there are some names that goes to show you that they're all not
that bad.
Look right
not
here.
Everybody's horrible.
Man.
I mean,
Sam Worthington, Octavia Spencer, Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw, probably one of the biggest names, in music industry. People, that's the thing. You see this and you're
it's just so great because there was a small group of people that believed in something, that got something going and stood for it and are still fighting strong and are just growing, and with that faith and that belief and everything, like they're on the right path, they're on God's path. They're telling stories that matter. You know what I mean? And some people go to show you that, I don't know, there's people, even the money haters and stuff were attacking Sound of Freedom just because it was making so much like, oh, it's all about the money. It's all about, I'm like, no. Like, if it was about the money, then why are they offering a pay it forward method where people can pay, you know what I mean? I don't know, just people were just like, people were attacking it like it was a money thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's because you're looking at it from that perspective. That's what that is. You're looking at it. And you're upset because this independent film and this company came out of nowhere and beat your puny little $500 million
movies,
Mission Impossible, and your Indiana Jones.
Now, what's bad about that is because of the fact that people look at people like Joel Osteen, who are, about, prosperity and all that crap, pay me X amount. Like,
I forget that one guy that I don't care to remember him or know his name, but that one guy that I was showing you who was like when she's like, what'd you say about getting into a plane with people? He said it was like getting into like a tube of demons or something. He's like, I never said that.
Yeah, they want him to be like that guy.
Don't you put words in my mouth.
You must be referring to someone like Kenneth Copeland.
That sounds familiar. I believe that is him. Yeah,
because of the fact that he had to have people buy him his own private jet.
Yeah,
because
and that mofo's got like 4 or 6 of them. They ask him about it, and it's like, why do you have? Like, I get if you want to own one, why do you got to own 4 or 6?
Right.
And then he's all like, "Well, Tyler Perry offered me." He said the price was so good, I couldn't resist.
Right.
That would be Kenneth Copeland. That's one of the people we're talking about in Deep Dive right now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But I mean, people like that,
and it's horrible because
that's why the world looks bad at churches and stuff.
Well, and the sad thing is he's gonna take a lot. I mean, that's like Little Nicky. Like, I mean, I don't want to try to be bringing that and talk about that in the light of all this and stuff. It's well done. I mean, it's one of those. It's a guilty pleasure. It's a fun film.
Yeah.
I know it's about like the devil's son and this and that, but it's got good heart and message behind it and this and that.
Yeah.
And it goes to show you though, because the brothers take on some powerful people, and it goes to show them how they're like, let's lead these people. And they even talk about, bringing up these films about the kids and stuff. They even say like, it's great whenever an adult goes to hell, but when a kid, he's like, oh, that's just delightful or something. Yeah, it's great for business or whatever, stuff like that. And I mean, it's like, it's almost true because you see it today, like with the pushing the pride and the trans and all that stuff onto the kids and this and that. They're really attacking the kids, and it's like, who else better is doing that than, I mean, I don't even mean to put him in good light like he's better or whatever, but than the liar and the deceitful devil, Satan, Lucifer, what I mean, to be doing that and pulling the strings.
You don't get to be known as, the angel of light and, without, something,
Yeah. But I mean, I use that as an example because they, it's even in the film where they use that. And I know it's, again, at the end of the day, there's movies and stuff, but sometimes I feel like even with like, the whole AI and stuff with Terminator, so I feel like there's almost in some films that may be fictional and little warning signs in there. God could be even using some movies, and they're, not saying that God is purposely like doing that stuff, but you know what I mean? So, like he had a hand in it because he created us and this and that and stuff, but we on free will create what we want.
Talking about, things with good messages. Have you ever seen Lucifer?
No, I don't want to talk about Lucifer on the show. We already talked about it.
No, he said something that I thought was a really good quote.
I've never seen that. So I don't know.
It was the very last line. He goes,
"That's still Hollywood because it's through CW and all that stuff, right?"
It's comic books.
See, and that's another thing. You can bring the devil to light, like with Dear Santa and all that stuff. Like you can talk about bring the devil to light, and make him seem cool for the kids and do all this stuff and everything. But everybody's. But the moment you bring up Jesus, it's the one religion that you don't see anybody attacking Buddha the way they attack Jesus. Why is Jesus the one? You know what I mean? Like, why is everybody after Jesus?
But no,
leave the man alone. Damn, he already suffered enough.
So Lucifer, he said something at the end of the series that I was like, why can't it be like that? So he ended up redeeming himself at the end of the comic.
I don't care if Lucifer redeemed himself or not. It's all fiction. He ain't going. He's the one person who's ain't getting back in heaven ever again. He done.
But he goes.
He fucked up.
But he.
Excuse my language again. I'm sorry, but he did done.
But he goes.
That's the truth.
He goes.
If you can't say that.
He goes.
It's the truth. He done.
He goes. If the devil himself can be redeemed, why can't everybody? I'm like that's kind of beautiful coming from.
Well, for one, that's the devil.
Yeah.
All right. He done.
You would think if he would ask for forgiveness, he was supposed to be able to get it, right?
He didn't want to give the glory. He wanted the glory to come to him.
No.
He wants the glory, and nobody can handle that but God himself.
Let me ask you something though. What if that was all part of the grand design from the very beginning? What if that's been his whole role the whole time?
What? He was waiting for the devil to finally just be like, Jesus, I'm done. It's all yours.
I mean, he's there to help guide people, to the right.
The devil?
Yeah. I mean, what if that's his role?
Technically, it is.
Like
he's meant to keep the church in business and all that stuff.
And deceiver. What the hell are we doing?
I know, but it's weird. But there'd be no good without the evil.
But
I understand how that works, but
so like one of the big things that we talk about, and people never think about it like this, is Judas betrays Jesus. Okay, so the common question is, where is Judas at? Where is he?
Well, we talked about that before too.
Where is he?
I don't know. We talked about it before, and we all fell on the part where we didn't know.
I have said myself, because if you actually, and this is for people that read the Bible, if you actually read it, it says that before Judas betrays Jesus, a demon has entered into and possesses him.
Mm-hmm.
Judas never technically, betrayed Jesus. It was the demon that took over. So, and he did ask God for forgiveness after, but then he killed himself. So that's why, that's a big debate.
Well, that's a demon. That's not the devil.
So they're like,
it's different.
So God used Judas for the very, very big pinnacle point, of his grand design. I think I think he went to heaven. It's possible, and that's a great debate in church. Like people, but then when you tell it like that, they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, you're onto something there." And then they start looking at other things, like like you and Sound of Freedom, and they start getting passionate about things, and then they start really doing their research, and it's like just from one little bitty thing, snowballs, and people learn, and you get great moments like Sound of Freedom, Sound of Hope, that get out there and give that message just by something simple. Poor Ryan's over there like...
He's trying to absorb it all, trying to let it sink in.
Either that or he's really confused. I'm not sure.
In a sense, yeah, because it's like...
Yeah, see, but you never thought about it like that, did you?
No, it was just the way you went off and talking about just the suffering here on earth and Jesus and comparing and I don't know. Anyway, you got a little off topic there.
It would not be real talk if we didn't get off topic at least once.
Yeah.
At least I'm not going around using the F word.
Oh. Hey, it slipped. It was an accident. I apologize. I said it was an accident, and it happens. We're all not perfect. We all sin, and we fall short of the glory of God. We all do. Nobody's perfect. No, hand me the stack.
Oh, what do you want me to do?
Hand me the stack.
Now, out of all of these, I think this is probably my favorite one.
See, he's trying to use something against me. That was an accident. I slipped. Why would you do that? Why would you use something against me? Like
boredom.
That. Boredom.
Why would you do something against me like that?
And but it was the truth because it came from the heart. But at the same time, I was like,
hey, it's okay. I still love you. I don't hate you.
The Kendrick brothers also put out some great films. The Shack, I went and saw with my mom. It's a great one. Facing the Giants is a really strong, powerful film.
I see clips for that all the time on Facebook.
Everybody should see it. And when I say it's like, and like I say, it's not a bad thing, but it's just more like they talk about it more openly about God and Jesus and prayers and people coming to him and stuff like that more in it, which is a great thing. It's like I said, it's not, but I know that not for everybody who's a true believer, like if you were to dive into something like that, they'd almost probably cringe at it in a sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, not that it's cringeworthy stuff, because this is, it's truth and it's good stuff. Fireproof. I watched that one. It's great.
It was about a firefighter and his wife or something.
Yeah, I watched this with Sarah, and she thought it was actually a really good film. But it's about like a couple coming together and saving their marriage and stuff. 90 Minutes in Heaven, and that's got Hayden Christensen in, who played, Anakin Skywalker and stuff.
Who played the epitome of evil.
But 90 Minutes of Heaven, he plays a guy who got hit by a truck on a bridge and dies. Yeah. And they talked to the guy in the interview on After Death. He's actually in the film. They talk about
it's based on like a true event.
Yeah, it's a true event thing. Okay. And he spent like 90 minutes in heaven before he came back to the earth, because he was like his work here wasn't done yet and stuff.
Hayden Christensen, another one that got ostracized because of his beliefs.
Yeah. War Room, which is a really great film. Kind of a sequel to it, but it's set in the same universe, but The Forge just came out. That's a really great, powerful film, too.
I did hear that was good.
It's a good film. And then I got this 3-movie collection with an Indivisible, Woodlawn, and God's Not Dead. And I love the God's Not Dead series. Those are really good. I haven't seen the newest one yet, but I really want to.
Let me find it and I'll let you borrow it.
And
I got it.
And then you got Do You Believe? Well, I mean, you got the newest one that just came out in theaters.
2?
No, bro, this is like the 4th or 5th one.
Jesus Christ, I didn't even know that.
This guy's like, you go on number 2?
I've got like 2 and 3.
Yeah, no, there was a new one that just came out in theaters in September.
Huh.
So
okay.
yeah, no, and it's cool because it's like a pastor takes in a leadership in the political stage actually.
Oh,
which is really interesting.
That would be.
But then you got Do You Believe, and that's got your boy Sean Astin in that one as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a strong film. It's from the creators of God's Not Dead.
Overcome was another good one.
Is a different group from the Kendrick Brothers, Pure Flix, which does great films too. So I mean, there's great, powerful Christian movies.
The guys that sing God's Not Dead.
New Boys.
So I met Michael Tate.
Nice.
About 20 plus years ago in Granite, actually. Right after he had left DC Talk and all that.
Nice.
Real nice guy.
Yeah, and then we got Overcomer.
That was a really good
Overcomer, which is a really good film. About a kid who her dad's blind and she never knew him, but it's not his fault. But it's a strong film. It's a really strong film. It's about overcoming obstacles and stuff like that. And he basically coaches her through she wears an earbud and he's like kind of like coaching her through the marathon at the end of the film. She's a runner.
That's pretty cool.
Average Joe just came out. I just recently purchased this film. It's about a man, Joe Kennedy, who was battling for his religious freedom and freedom of speech and rights for all Americans. For praying on a football field. He was a coach praying on a football field at the end of a game, and the town and people and all that stuff wasn't having it and everything. But I had to bring. I had to bring those groups up because they're also fantastic films. But I mainly wanted to talk about Angel Studios because I mean, not saying that they don't put out stories that matter, because storytelling is a powerful tool. But they all matter. But
theirs is more towards reality. These are more
inspiring, powerful messages. And not saying that these aren't also inspiring, powerful messages, but it's also like trying to bring awareness to things that people aren't comfortable talking about.
No, true.
Because he Tim Ballard. I mean, I know it's in the movie, but Tim Ballard himself, Jim Caviezel, even delivers in that film a really amazing speech about how it's too ugly for polite conversation and this and that, and how it's the ongoing, how it just is ongoing and how it keeps spreading over the next, even when this came out, 5 years, things were already fast approaching 5,000%. Child pornography, more 5,000%. It's up. That it's online,
isn't that crazy?
People, and it's surpassed the drug trade, the weapons trade, all that, and cocaine, everything, and it's like I said, it's too ugly for polite conversation. But he talks about how if we keep ignoring this and ignoring the pain of other people and all this stuff, one day it's going to reach us. It'll be on our doorstep, and it'll be a nightmare that we won't wake up from because it'll come to us. Yeah. Like it's already, I mean, that's why it's so scary with the people come across the border and everything we talked about already, that if they come up in arms and they take sides and all of a sudden we got war in our backyard, man, we're not safe in our own homes. This stuff, you know what I mean? Like this stuff comes to your doorsteps, all this stuff that you've watched, even in movies, fictional movies too, that you've seen happen to the fictional characters is going to start happening to us. Yeah. The American people.
And that's something that I worry about.
Yeah. And it's also doesn't help that we're taking God out of this country and they want to separate. And separate the states and people and all that stuff from religion. I don't care, because religion is a label. And you can't, you know what I mean? You can't put a label on Jesus. I follow Jesus, not religion. And there's so many different false prophets and religions out there that want to stray you away. And I'm not about. So I mean, that's fine if you want to do that, but don't take God and Jesus out of schools in the country and the states. You know what I mean? I don't care about religion. I care about Jesus and God.
I will say at the same time
and being caring and loving to one another.
Churches need to push harder. If we're going to allow,
that's another thing that I love about Sound of Hope is the church starts with the church, and they band together with other churches, even some of the rich, powerful churches in the film in Texas, and they realize like all this money and stuff that they're putting on to make their everything look magnificent, like like putting on a rock concert and this and that, even brings to light to him and stuff, and he actually ends up kind of helping, and then the whole town gets inspired to start adopting and raising kids, and next thing you know, in the system in that town, they didn't have any, by the end of the film, they didn't have any more kids in the system because they had adopted and taken care of them. And the sad thing is some of those kids, I mean, I know it comes from like people not wanting to be parents and just leaving them on doorsteps or whatever, but some of those kids also come from trafficking. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of them probably.
Talking about false prophets a minute ago, I don't know, I don't remember if I told you about this, but a couple months ago I went to, it's called the See You at the Pole rally. Mm-hmm. And this girl was talking, and I got really irate. She looked at everybody, and these kids are impressionable, and said to them, you know how when you bring a friend to, God and Jesus, you get a little bit mad? I'm like, no, normally I get really happy about that. And she started talking, and it went, well, because like all I could keep repeating was that, do you ever get mad like I do when, you bring a friend of Christ? No. I don't like the fact that there are people out there teaching that either. It's like, we really should pay attention to, what's being put out there. Because, again, they're impressionable. And if that's what they're hearing, why are they going to go out and witness and, bring people to Christ if, they're going to get, be mad about it?
Like I said, too, there's an agenda. They're going after the kids with all this certain stuff. Like I said, with Dear Santa and Dear Satan, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. There's just an agenda.
Now, I remember telling you about this. I finally found the name of it. I found it last night, actually.
What's that?
Remember how I told you about that Christian version of Saw?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's called The Reconciler.
Yeah, we looked it up and was watching a trailer for it, and it's just like...
strange.
Yeah, it's really weird. Honestly, it almost comes off like a parody, like...
to Saw.
No, I know it's obviously a parody to Saw, but it comes off almost like a... like, they're not only are they making fun of Saw, but it's almost like they're making fun of...
religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought maybe I was.
It didn't seem like.
Yeah. I saw it. It was probably about 15 years ago or so. And I'm like, what? It had me baffled the whole time. And that was my thought. I'm like, are they making fun of Saw? Are they making fun of religion? Are they making fun of both? What was the point of the movie? I'm like, you got a dude killing people, and the only way to save them is to use memory verses.
Terrifier. Besides some guy going around.
There is no point.
What's the point of Human Centipede besides just trying to...
No.
Exactly, yeah. A lot of the stuff is just gore porn.
Yeah.
It's almost almost like there's not a point to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How are we looking on time?
Don't look at me. I'm not keeping track.
The one guy who brought up the fact that he's just like, who cares about time? He's like, Ryan's always bringing up, and then now he's bringing it up. Like, well,
when did I
get a hot date?
Maybe. No,
maybe.
I just, God, you suck.
You suck.
So, here's a question for you, though. How come you haven't bothered to contact me yet to see if you can get on, like, the production team or something?
I don't know how to go through with that.
Well, I assume you go to angelstudios.com and, email them.
Yeah, it don't really work like that.
I don't know. There's a place there on their website. You can
I've
contact them.
emailed them and talked to them and told them about how I like their stuff and stuff. But I mean, you don't just be like, "Hey, I also happen to be a filmmaker and would love to be on your team," and be like, "Well, sure, get on over here, buddy."
Hey, that's how.
What if they did though?
Yeah, that's how you network. That's how you get jobs.
Yeah, but
I don't know if you showing them Halloween
I don't
Unforgiven
think
would
you-
exactly
No,
go
no,
over too
no,
well.
I don't think you quite
This is what I've
understand
done.
that. Yeah, you network by chit chatting and stuff like that, but you don't just throw it. You just don't be like, you know, I'm going to work with you guys. It's like, or I want to work with you guys. It's like you have a small conversation with them, and like by the end of the night, or random conversation and dinner meal and stuff, and be like, oh man, I would love to maybe possibly work with you one day or something. And you throw that out there.
Even if it's non-paid, I mean, you know, it just seems like something
they do.
That seems like something that you would be, you know, gung ho for.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I'm gung ho for it.
I mean, if you want, I'll message him and talk to him for you.
Oh gosh.
Well,
Then TJ's gonna start taking percentages of what you make.
No, I ain't
kidding.
that nice.
I ain't that nuts.
I just, you know, I'm just a little bit surprised because I mean, you were very passionate about Angel Studios.
well, yeah, they're a great company, a great team, and they tell great stories and stuff.
I mean, just
I'm the type of guy that I want to be able to create my own stuff. I don't want to work under someone. I mean, as cool as that would be another long, drawn out process of working for someone while trying to do my goals and stuff.
yeah, but
It's tough.
I think that's a little bit different though.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be more time consuming because you got to think with all the projects they put out and you're working on a film set, you're working all the time, hours, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Cry Me a River.
Cry Me a River.
Well, mister, how come you're not out doing it?
Because I'm not.
Or because you talking about all you always joking with me about doing all these other fan films. Why aren't you out wanting to do your own fan films?
Okay, fine. We can do a fan film called Sound of Freedom, dude.
No, I'm not going to do a Sound of Freedom fan film. That's just ridiculous.
Hey, watch the mouth. This is a clean and wholesome episode.
I understand that, but it's it just comes out as truthful.
Hey,
out.
We can get back to debauchery and, you know, randomness next week. Gosh.
I'm not saying like go F yourself. I'm just like,
no, you already told Satan that.
I'm just saying like, just.
I don't know. I don't know.
He's like a little hamster in a wheel.
Yeah. The wheels are going.
See, this is the kind of fun we have here. But no, okay, so maybe you don't work for Angel Studios, but, you know, kind of like, you know, what if you wrote your own, like, film like that, you know? I mean, something that, you know.
And one of these days I'm going to. Once I get past Scream, Scream's probably going to be one of the last projects I do that's going to be, you know, fictional and there's nonsense, blood, and gore. You know, and it's definitely gonna be my last fan film because, you know, I can't.
Yeah, I gotta shave my head when we start filming again.
Can't go anywhere with them or do anything with them except for just show off your work and you know, give the fans something to chew on for a little bit and stuff like that.
I mean, we got that dude in, you know, Europe that's biting at the bit to see director's cut.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like I said, you know, they do have a lot of really good movies. You know, there's even some older ones that I'm not even sure you've heard of. There was one that I watched many eons ago called Revelation. It had Jeff Fahey in it. Really, really good message. There was one that Gary Busey did. I can't remember the name of that one. This is back before Gary, you know, lost all his marbles. It was he woke up in a coma, and the tribulation had already happened, and we were living in, you know, the Antichrist had already risen and all that, and he was trying to make his way, you know, trying to figure things out, and really, really deep messages, and I have them somewhere at home. But Revelation was really good because at one point he's a non-believer in tribulation times, and he goes, God, if you're real, he goes, knock over this glass of water. God says, okay. Knocks it over. And then after that moment, he started seeing things in the world for what they really were. And he's like, man, I was wrong. And that's when he had his come to Jesus moment, as I call it. Really, really, really deep message. So, I mean...
Yeah, it sounds like that was a deep message, but that part almost sounds fictional because that's not how God shows himself. That's not how God works.
But I mean, and God,
he shows himself and reveals himself through certain
God probably
ways
didn't even really
but...
knock over the glass. Somebody probably bumped the table or something,
Yeah.
But I mean, but it was really good, And that's the thing is, people kind of look at this stuff and just, except for
you have to really...
This one got a lot of traction.
Yeah, you have to really open your eyes and really believe, the whole walk by faith, live by sight, live by faith, not by sight,
Yeah.
And stuff like that, because a lot of people think that it's just, because I've had my in and outs growing up and stuff like that, and I've fallen, I've come to Christ, and I've fallen and I've come, and just because of, Sound of Freedom really kind of like reawoken that for me, and so
because of Sound of Freedom, I've come to the realization that when you get very passionate about something, there ain't no stopping you.
Well, it's the truth. It's like what better things to fight for than the future of the children, because
Exactly.
you tell them Santa Claus is real. Obviously we all growing up believing Santa Claus is real.
Don't you dare tell me he's not real. I'll punch you in the nuts.
You know what I'm saying, though. You tell a kid something, they're going to believe it. So why not go after the children and corrupt and do all that stuff? I'm just saying that's the agenda. So that's why I'm so passionate about the children and being a dad myself.
Yeah. How many times have we said that we're worried about the future that Dutch is going to be living in?
Well, yeah, but that's what they're the future. That's why it's like people like us need to fight for them, because we were the future, but the generation before us kind of messed up, and we need to now be leading the next future, the next generation. And because of that, that's why I believe Dutch is going to do really big. He's going to do bigger and better things than me, because he's going to, I believe he's going to change the world in some way, shape, or form. And he was put in this life for a reason, and I thank God every day for him, and he's the kid I always prayed for growing up, and
it's hard to believe we're coming up on 6 years.
5 years.
I'm gonna stay
5 years. Damn, I'm getting ahead of myself. Still, you see what I mean? He's been here so long; it seems like longer.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just he's just growing up so fast and stuff too. It's just, it really is mind blowing.
Okay.
Mind blowing.
My nephew, he'll be a year old in like a week. He stole his dad's phone the other day and called me on Facebook. He's not even a year old yet. I'm like, these dang kids are getting smarter and smarter every year, it seems.
Yeah.
With technology, but not a lot of other things.
He doesn't have anything technology based.
Talking about like teenagers and stuff.
Yeah. But we're talking about an almost 1-year-old did this.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I suppose.
Just imagine what Dutch is going to do in 10 years.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. He'll be 15 years old. He'll be a freshman in high school. That kid, has got one of the brightest futures I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
I don't even think about it because he's growing up so fast.
I know. We're going to blink and he's going to be in high school.
Stop saying that.
How do you think I feel, dude? Dude, by the time he's a freshman in high school, I'm going to be almost 50 years old.
Okay.
That's crazy.
We're getting old, man.
I know.
What happens?
But
it happens.
if we don't start now. We have no right to complain in the future when things don't turn out the way we, hoped. Like you said, we have to fight because these kids are growing up in a very, very different world than we did.
Growing up believing in fairy tales and stuff. I believe you can grow up to be whoever and whatever you want, but I don't think you need to grow up to
disqualification.
Decide that you just want to be completely different.
Yeah,
gender. Forcing that on kids.
We've had friends that thought just like us that have been, not demoralized, but desensitized, and they're brainwashed.
That's why we all gotta be childlike. Not saying goo goo gaga run around picking our nose and stuff, but we all need to be more childlike, as in like we need to be more imaginative and creative and loving, because kids are they're trying to be serious. This kid's over here.
Hey,
he's being very childlike right now. But no, I'm just saying, like, no, for real, like we all need to have that openness that kids have, that you see them being so loving and stuff like that, and people just aren't there for one another anymore, and they're
lose
very
that
selfish.
along the way.
Yeah, and we've lost it even more with technology.
Oh yeah, 25 years ago, this wasn't even a dream. This was it was
something that we talked about and said, how cool would it be if we could talk to each other all the time, and then we get it, and it's like now we just like each other's posts.
We saw it in movies, and thought, oh, that'd be so cool. And now it's like it's even more powerful than it was.
And that's the thing I always try to preach too, is that we have this thing that we have, all of us have in our hands. We are all connected now in some way, shape, or form, and we have the power to come together in a way that we've never have before. And what are we doing with it? Like really silly, dumb stuff.
Well,
a lot of good things coming from it.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of good things come from it too. There, you take the positive from the negative, but and stuff like that, the good with the bad and the bad with the good and stuff. But I'm just saying, like in the you look at the long haul, like what more is it being used for than sharing memes and stuff like that?
You'll agree with this statement. There was an episode of Boy Meets World about 25 years ago,
and that was good, man.
And they were talking about they were talking about technology and all that, and they brought up Gutenberg's generation. He made the first Bible, physical copy, and they thirsted for new reading material every week or so, and he goes, you get new websites every 6 seconds. Okay, that was 25 years ago. Imagine what it is now.
New websites, new apps, new everything, new social media.
And he goes,
different platforms.
And he goes, you use the internet for what? To beat King Koopa? He goes, you keep going down this road, you're going to get dumber and dumber. And boy, was he right.
Yeah, because Idiocracy has now become in the form of like a documentary more now than a fictional film.
I still find it funny the shoes they were wearing in Idiocracy.
Yeah, the Crocs, because they were like, these are dumb. Ain't nobody gonna wear these, and then they got popular over the years.
And now we got Croc boots. It's like, really?
It's everywhere.
You got to prove them right.
But yeah. Anyway, so as we come to our final thoughts and conclusions and stuff, I just wanted to put out that I definitely recommend. I'm not forcing anybody or telling you have to see it, but it's out there, and it's for your viewing pleasure. And I think that they're very great, inspiring, powerful films, and they tell powerful stories that matter. And it all started with Sound of Freedom, and they're just booming from there. They got another film coming out in January I look forward to seeing after Homestead, called Brave the Dark, about a teacher who sees a young troubled child who's kind of in and out of jail and doesn't have parents and stuff like that, and he kind of takes them up under like a mentorship, leadership type of role.
How about this?
And gives them like roof over his head and so, and it looks powerful. It looks good.
How about this? Because I've never said this, and I'm going to put it on video so you can come back and tell me that if I tell you I never said that. How about
That's smart?
How about I'll go see it with you? because you've been trying to get me to go see these movies. And normally I'm busy.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to, though.
Normally I'm busy.
And then you've had access to coming over and watching with me on our
But you know what?
Home theater.
I'll make the time to go see it with you.
We're going to see Homestead in a couple weeks.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay.
We're going to see that one. And then Brave the Dark in January.
Remind me of that, and I'll go with you.
And then they got a great animated film coming out in April for all... I just think it's good for all families and everybody. It's called The King of Kings.
No, it's called Lord of the Rings. Get it right.
No, it's called The King of Kings, and it's an animated film.
That comes out December 13th, too.
It's an animated film, and it's like basically like a father telling the story, like Jesus' story, his life, and stuff in the form of animation.
Didn't we have that with VeggieTales already?
Well, I mean, it's just this looks. There's different forms and ways of getting stuff out there, man. I mean, you got to put it out in different ways. Different people find different forms of content entertaining and different
animation. You got to go after the kids.
Yeah.
Well, see, like I said, they're going after the kids, but at least they're going after the kids in a good way because they're going after them in the truth, the way, and the light, and all that stuff.
It all works out.
As my final thought,
they don't go after the kids and be all like
evil about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for my final thought of the night, I just want to tell you, thank you.
For what?
Because of the fact that, you don't conform to society. You actually have an open mind.
That's what it says in the Bible, not to conform to, the worldly things.
I said something to you earlier, and you're sitting there and you're listening, and you're just like, wow, that's kind of cool. You were interested,
You got to stand, you got to be different. You got to stand out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to,
That's very true. You don't want to be a bunch of sheep.
The only sheep I want to be is Jesus' sheep. He's the shepherd. You know what I mean? I'm his follower. I'm a sheep. That's the only sheep I want to be.
In the Bible,
I don't want to be the sheep that's following. And then the worldly terms.
In the Bible, it talks about the shepherd that has a flock, and one of his sheep, stray away from the flock, and the shepherd goes after that one, and they asked Jesus, why would he do that? And he said, I don't remember word for word, and I don't even remember where it's from, but he's talking about how he would rather risk his life for the one lost sheep than to stay for the flock.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You want to try to save as many as you can, but that's the devil's mission is not to save people, but to pull as many people as he can. Right. That's what he wants. So, but yeah, no, I just wanted to, like I said, I didn't want to be like some people. This podcast might not be for everybody. I mean, I wanted to keep it on a level that everybody could be comfortable with and understand with and stuff like that. And I know that some people, when you start bringing up Jesus and scripture, some people lose their minds and get a little uncomfortable with it and stuff, and all of a sudden we're preaching down their throats, and it's like, that's not the case. Not once did I say you must come to the Lord. Damn it! That was real bad there. That was real bad there. I'm so sorry. Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not like, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like,
you know what? Like,
because we're all lost, we're all sinners and stuff. So, like, I'm not trying to be a hypocrite and being like, you for sure.
Well, like Kenneth Copeland said, though, if you want to get to heaven, Ryan, you need to go buy me a private jet, man. I need one. Go do it. That's how you get to heaven.
I'm not trying to be that way. Like, you guys get where I'm coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I want the audience to understand where I'm coming from. I'm definitely not saying that you shouldn't.
Well, I think
because you definitely should, but I'm not saying you have to, because that's your choice.
Out of anybody, Dalton would be able to tell people whether or not you're shoving things down people's throats, because Dalton, he's excited to go see some of their new movies.
I like people that keep an open mind and stuff like that, and I'm just like letting them. And people come to terms.
I think Dalton would be the first to say whether or not you're being a hypocrite and shoving things down his throat. But Dalton is.
I don't know why he's got to put it with the shoving things down the throat. I don't know where he's going with that. I kept thinking that's what he was going. I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
No, because they say that people in religion, that you shove it down their throats. And
I got what you're saying.
It's just an old saying.
I know what you're saying, but it just seemed like you're going like I thought you were going somewhere else with it. I was ready to say, TJ, what did I do?
You think I'd go my usual route?
Yeah, that's why I was like.
But I mean, have you noticed it? Unlike Ryan here, I've actually been being good this whole episode.
Why? That's why
I wasn't expecting it.
That's almost like the typical hypocritical Christian thing you see to do to turn something around and use it against someone else. You got a dirty mind too.
Wait a minute.
Because you're keeping it cool for the podcast. You're trying to make yourself look better than me because I let a couple words slip.
That's the idea.
Nobody's perfect.
So that's the lesson, people. Don't be like that. Don't be that kind of person.
That's the lesson.
Be like this guy who's willing to admit that he screws up.
Well,
it's a good lesson.
It is.
I think everybody does. I mean, you gotta be.
Are you kidding? I screw up more times in a day than I care to count.
That's how you learn.
I'm just saying. It's just.
I'm
just saying it's like it's the type of people you see that are like, oh man, I hate when people are racist, but then you turn around and be like, oh, look at that redneck over there. Look at that.
I definitely am not racist. I hate everybody equally.
I'm not calling you racist. I'm not. See, but then if the shoe fits, if you're getting offended over it,
you didn't hear it, did you? I said I hate every one of y'all equally.
I know you do. But again, hate's a strong word, and I don't hate you. I love you, brother.
Fine.
I love everybody.
I'm not racist. I dislike everybody equally.
Even people who don't like me, I'm just like, I ain't got a problem with you. I still, whatever. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
On that note, I love you, brother. You're a good man. You're a good daddy.
You're all a good man. Good people too.
We all are good man.
I mean, you're such a good man that you got your son's name tattooed on your arm.
Yeah.
So, your homework for the week, contact, Angel Studios.
He's giving you homework.
Your homework. You watch some of the movies, man, because it's great.
Like I said, stuff. I'll go see these movies with you.
They're good, man.
You just got to remind me when they are.
They're good.
Because I'm bad at remembering things.
But yeah, no, like I said, they're all great. Check them out for yourself if you want to. Everybody has the right to live their life the way that they want, believe what they want, this and that and stuff. But I mean, and I know that people are always saying because we say that, Jesus is the only right way, and people are saying like that's the only way, this and that and stuff. But I mean, it's the truth, it is. But you can live other ways too. Mm-hmm. Just saying that.
Yeah. Well,
you can live your life. Well, you still live your life.
Yeah.
You can live your life and love Jesus while still living life. That's why we have all these great things to enjoy on earth. I mean, not saying that you just be going out doing drugs and picking up hookers and just sinning because and we don't sin, then Jesus died for nothing. And you got people out there saying stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's not what it's all about. We don't just go out and sin just because, everything's paid in full. We can just do whatever we want. No, it's not like that. I mean, like, it goes back to little Nicky. He's like, I think we should all do whatever the hell we want. You know what I mean? Let the sins begin. You know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't just be out doing it, like, purposely. Like, I know that we do sometimes, but we shouldn't just be out all the time out.
I only have one thing to say to that.
What?
Jesus this, Moses that, Abraham hit me with the wiffle ball bat. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, Lordy.
All right, on that note.
Lordy me.
I do have to get going, though, because I got to get up early for church.
Okay.
Because I got to fix some sound equipment and stuff in the morning.
All right. Well, no, I appreciate everybody listening and tuning in with us this week for the Big 30.
The Big 30, the Dirty 30.
Man, I was 30 a long time ago.
Just like I said, be great, be kind, be careful with what you do and say, and
32.
You don't know what people are battling or going through or going with stuff, and just always smile and be kind.
Yeah.
And
very true.
Yeah. Just want to leave on a happy positive note, but
yep.
It's great entertainment in front of we talked about tonight. and great message in there. Yeah. And
agreed.
Just think everybody needs to be a little bit more open-minded, understanding, caring.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
That said, I hope everybody joins us next week. It'll be a mystery. We'll find out what happens.
It'll be a mystery.
Episode 31. Come back. Find out. Stay tuned. Thank you and good night. TJ should watch Angel Studios because they are so cool. And if you don't, then what the world are you doing with your life then? Not watching cool stuff and supporting cool stuff. You support RBG Studios and they're just lame, but you don't want to support Angel Studios? What?
You broke it.